Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear us? I'm checking the sound and audio right now. Check 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, what is up? Welcome to our April 15th member call. This is a strange time for a call on Tuesday at, 9 a.m. But we always try to rotate our calls for those of you who are new to the Flip Your Life community so that we can make sure we reach everybody at some point, whether it's in a different time zone, maybe you work second shift or third shift and you really need to attend a morning call. We want to make sure that all of our members get a chance to come on to the member call and ask us questions. Now, you may be wondering why you're sitting next to us looking out at the Caribbean Sea. Well, that is because we were up really late and this up so early, and we got up really early, and we didn't feel like being on camera. So we thought, okay, we can show them a picture of us, or we can all imagine that we are looking out at the ocean waves, crashing on the rocks, and we're relaxing, talking about online business next to the ocean. That to me seemed like a better idea than just a picture of me and Jocelyn. So let's just enjoy these ocean waves while we sit back and relax today. We're gonna pretend we're there. We're all. I think this is in Thailand. We'll just pretend we're in a beautiful Caribbean island, and we've got coconuts in our hands with drinks in them. We're just relaxing, and we're looking out at the ocean, and we're thinking about growing our businesses. Okay, so there's not a huge amount of people here yet. I'm sure some people will float in and out. So double questions will be welcome this morning. Thank you for showing up early. When you show up early, you get early birds get the worm, and the worms in this case are all questions. So go ahead and start putting questions into the chat. If you have any questions, we'll get your question and we'll hit the repeats fast. And also too, I'm actually doing a series right now on YouTube about lead magnets. Okay, so if you would like to ask anything about lead magnets, I did make a post about it, but I'd love to answer some questions right now to start thinking that through. I'm going to have probably about, I did it last night and I wrote it down. There's about 20 questions that I'm going to answer on lead magnets in individual videos on YouTube, little 5-minute answers. And I will be posting some of those in the community, but not all of them. So if you had any questions about your lead magnets right now, go ahead and ask those, and we'll love to get to those as well. Got some other people logging in right now. Put your questions in the chat. There is a delay. And again, if we run out of questions, we run out of time. So we want to hear your questions. If you want us to answer them, go ahead and type them in. No lurking on the premium member calls, okay? All right, some announcements real quick. Flip Your Life live tickets are on sale right now. If you do not have your ticket, go to flippedlifestyle.com/live. That's FLIPPEDLIFESTYLE.com/live. We would love for you guys to attend. I know there's a bunch of people in the room right now that are going to be there. And if you'd like to get your ticket, you can do that right away. I'm also going to be opening 5 spots this month in our one-on-one coaching program. This only happens about 3 times a year. So keep your eye on your inbox. There will be an email going out for that probably this week. I only have 5 spots available right now that I'm going to open up. This is a one-on-one program where you get an app on your phone that lets you send questions to me and Jocelyn through voicemail every single day if you want to. You can ask us a question any day of the week, any time of the day. We usually respond to those within 24 hours. It's a great way to really accelerate your business. The Voxer program is full of action takers who are making big money, and they're building a life, and they're making their living at home, and they're doing all these great things. And we're a part of that. We like to work one-on-one with them. We answer questions in the moment so they can take action in the moment. And it's a really, really good program. So look for that in your email. There will only be 5 spots available right now. And that has not actually been fully opened since I think November of last year. Is that right, Jocelyn? I think that's when it first started. Yeah, so we have not had any spots open in the last 6 months for that Voxer spot. Occasionally here and there, maybe one person left and I let one person in, but we have not opened it to the entire community in months and months and months. So if you want to work with me and Jocelyn one-on-one, specifically me, I talk a lot on Voxer, then look for that in your inbox, okay? All right, we've got a couple questions coming in. So go ahead and type your questions now. Do not wait for silence. There is a delay, guys. There is a delay in the chat. Okay. I can't seem to do chat while I'm watching my phone. So I'm going to watch and listen. Okay, Jeff, if you want to go ahead and post your question first, you can do that. And we already have a question, looks like, from Jeff. We've got a success story from Jennifer. We'll get to those in just a second.
You can go ahead and put those in. You want to read those in between questions.
Okay. All right, hold on one second. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Jennifer's success story.
All right. Jennifer says, I finished my first ebook last night. I partnered with a friend and PT on this project. So she's editing. But I hope to have it finished by the end of the week as a lead magnet. Good job.
That's awesome. Anytime you get, when you start getting content done fast, great things start to happen. So good job for that. And everybody else should draw a lot of, a lot of inspiration from that. If you're working on something, if you've got an ebook half written, you've got a video half recorded, if you've got something that you've done and finished and you've not put it on your website yet, you need to take action and do that.
Somebody sound far away.
Oh yeah, let me check the mics. Jocelyn sounds far away. We're gonna have to read that success story again. Aha! It is the wrong microphone.
All right. What about now? Can you hear Jocelyn now?
Tell me if you can hear now.
Can you hear Jocelyn now?
Just waiting.
Waiting for it. The delay. Waiting for the delay. Hey, there we go. All right.
Okay.
We're going to start back over. So, Jocelyn, go ahead and read that success story again.
Okay. Today, this success story is from Jennifer. She says, I finished my first ebook last night. I partnered with a friend and PT, which I presume is physical therapist, on this project. So she's editing, but I hope to have it finished by the end of the week as a lead magnet.
All right. Awesome stuff.
Good work.
Good job. All right. We will read more success stories. I saw Janet put one down there. We will get to that in a minute. Looks like our first question today is going to be from Jeff, and we will get to that just now. Everyone else, go ahead and type your question now. What question do you have about your online business? What question do you have about getting this thing you want done so that we can help you? There is a delay in the audio, and we don't wait for questions. If we run out of questions, then the call is over. So go ahead and post your questions now. There's a lot of people in the chat now. You're all lurking around in there, so don't be a lurker. Go ahead and type your question in, and we'll put you in queue in the order they are received.
All right. This question is from Jeff. Jeff says, I'm planning the 2019 launch of my Christmas play in a couple of months. Last year, I promoted on Facebook and got 200 script downloads, which was his lead magnet. And I sold 10 scripts at $97 each. I've done some research and found that there are at least 800,000 to 1 million evangelical churches in the United States alone. Do you think it's possible to 10x plus these numbers using Facebook ads? Do you have any other ideas to reach my target market?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's a huge market, and pretty much all of them probably do some form of Christmas play, right? So the big thing that you've got to do is create audiences that will successfully reach those people. I don't know. I've never looked at the targeting. I don't know if you can target like pastors. I don't know if you can target specific churches. I don't know. I'm not for sure if you can target by religion, but you just need to look through all of the different things and see if you can target those institutions themselves. But don't be afraid to think outside the box, Jeff. Facebook is not the only game in town. This actually sounds more like a search play to me. Okay. Because if you typed in Christmas, I need a Christmas play for my church, or Christmas play for church, or Christian play for small church, Christian play for big church. I bet if you researched this, when people want a script for a Christmas play, they're going to search for it. They're not going to put it on Facebook. Hey, anybody got a good Christmas play script? Or they may not be paying attention in the right way there. Like, you hit some people, but I wonder if you shouldn't focus on Google ads, especially Google text ads, like specifically, the ads that show up at the top of search results on the Google search engine. not YouTube or anywhere else for this, because people are going to be looking for these plays and you want your results to like show up.
So I say my rule generally is if something is working, continue doing it. That doesn't mean that you don't branch out and try something new. Like, I think that you should still do the Facebook ads this year because you had some success with them last year. But I also think there's nothing wrong with branching out and trying something new also. Try a Google search ad. See if it works. If it works well, then put some more money on it. Do it again. If it doesn't work well, then go with what you were already doing. So, I think it's fine to continue what you're doing. I think that it's also fine to try a little something different. There is a keyword research training video in our training. So you can check that out and see if that's helpful.
You can also put them together, Jeff. Like, this is getting a little more advanced. Like last year, you did some Facebook ads. It kind of worked. You got $1,000. That's good. But we want $10,000 this time. So why not have search engine traffic driving to the page where you sell or where you deliver your lead magnet? Like you can put free script, right? Or whatever it is. They go there. They get picked. They get tracked. You put the tracking pixel from Facebook on there. And then you follow up with the ad for what you're selling. Okay. You can string your ad campaigns together so they work in tandem. So the goal is find everybody that's searching for a Christmas play this year. Okay. So we have an ad that says free Christmas play script. They click there. They're on your page. They get tracked. They opt in. Now you have their email and you building an audience on Facebook. So you can show Facebook ads only to the people who were actually searching for the Google, for the Christmas play.
Did
right?
you just say the Google?
I said the Google. It's like the Walmart. That's what my parents call Walmart. They go, we're going to the Walmarts every once in a while. But you can go out there and actually your ads will be more efficient on Facebook if you do it that way. And you've got emails that you can market to as well. Okay. So don't be afraid to try an all of the above approach. And if you want a 10X, though, you're probably going to have to try. So you're either going to have to spend 10X the money or try something new.
All right. We have a success story from Janet. Janet says, this is the first month that my membership is making more than my third-party market sales.
We got there.
Yay.
We made it.
And my third-party market sales are double that from last year.
So really,
yeah.
Like, what's the math on that? Okay, you doubled your third-party market sales, and then you made more. So is that like, do you multiply that like 2 times 3? What's going on here? This is some kind of,
bro, I don't know.
like, what are your actual membership or your membership sales over last year? Like, that's amazing. Hey, listen, if you guys want to see an action taker, if you want a role model in the Flip Your Life community, Janet's awesome. I mean, she puts the work in. She does it. She experiments. She goes to live trade shows. She goes online marketing. She does it all. And super proud of you. That's an amazing accomplishment.
All right. We are moving on to our next question from Lene, and it says, I added my first YouTube video last week, and how do I use this to advertise my business? Do I need to create a paid ad, or what do you recommend? My site is almost done. I know I keep saying that. I have a coming soon page right now.
Okay, so you can do a couple things with YouTube videos. The first thing you can do is create lots of YouTube videos. So one way you get traffic from YouTube is you go research relevant keywords. You make YouTube videos that target those keywords, that are about those keywords, and people find them in the organic search engine. Okay. Well, if you get 100 videos on YouTube and you have 1 view a day, you've got 100 views a day, 3,000 views a month, and so on and so forth. What happens if you get 100 views on 100 videos a day? You've got 10,000 sets of eyeballs on your stuff every month. So that's one way to grow with YouTube. And another thing you can do is if you log into the Google AdWords tool, you can just create ads of your videos. You just click video ad, you get the URL from that video, you set your budget, and now you target that keyword, and anyone that searches for it will see your ad. They can see it in different places. There's different kinds of ads. In YouTube, you can have the little ads that appear before a video. Those are the videos that always have the little skip button, right? You can do those. You can put them in the search results. You can put them in what's called related search, where someone finds a video, looks over to the right, and sees other videos about the topic. And you can usually get pretty cheap views. It really doesn't cost a whole lot to get those views. Now, strategically, your video ad better point to something, not just a link in the description. You need things at the end of your videos that give calls to action. So you might edit in something or always say it when you record your video, but it'll say like, hey, go to this URL, give me your email for this thing that I'm giving you. So make sure you have a strong call to action. You don't, online business is not a popularity contest. It doesn't matter how many people know about you. It doesn't matter how many people see your ad. It matters how many people take action. That's the only thing that matters on any kind of content, any kind of advertising, is what is the call to action. Anytime anyone says to me, is this video good enough? I always say, what's the call to action? I've got a friend in the music industry, and he's releasing his next song today. And it's supposed to be, you know, it's been playing on the radio. It's been spread kind of virally a little bit as he's released like the word. There's buzz around it. It's going to have a lot of views. And we were talking last night, and he was like, man, I can't wait till the song comes out. And the first thing I said to him was, yeah, but what happens next? Like, okay, they listened to your song. What's the call to action? And he pulled out his phone and he recorded himself walking down the sidewalk, giving a call to action. They went back in and they edited that at the end of the music video. All right, this is a video that's probably going to be viewed 1 million times in the next couple of months. And if he hadn't had a call to action, it just would have been, wow, great song. I might add it to my playlist. But now there's a, oh, go to this website. So maybe 10% of that million people goes to his website and gives them that email address. Okay. So the most important thing is the call to action in your video. You need a good call to action. But yes, you can definitely go in and put some money behind that video, and lots of people will see it. Like YouTube is right now, as I'm saying this will probably change because it always does, the cheapest way to get attention. Like if you want to get great attention on your videos, you can get a lot of attention fast, but then you've got to do something with that attention. You know, crazy people walking down the street talking to themselves get lots of attention, right? The attention, it really means nothing. It's not a currency. It's just makes you feel good sometimes. It's what happens when they give you the attention. What do you do with it? Okay.
All right. Let me see here. Our next question is from Allison. Allison says, I'm in the middle of creating a Loom video for each one of my email subscribers to welcome them to my list and introduce myself by video. The subscribers are watching the video, but no one responds. Should I follow up in any way? My original purpose in creating the videos was to connect with my subscribers, so maybe I don't need to follow up. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. All right, so this is something that I do sometimes when people join the membership, and I think that really they're not always going to respond. Like sometimes people might be watching it on the go, they might be in their car, they might say, "Oh, that's really cool," but you know, they might not always respond. Are you asking them to respond? Like, do you say to them, "Hey, you know, hit reply and say hello back," you know? Are you doing that? I would guess that you're probably not. So if you're not, then, you know, how do they know that you want them to respond?
And also like telling them how to respond. Like you can never give too clear a call to action on anything you do. Like Jocelyn just said, like, hey, hit reply back with a bonjoro where you record a message. Okay. You're probably going to get less of those back because use Loom because people don't like to record videos of themselves. So you could say, hey, drop me a hello in the comments below the use Loom video and just let me know you got this. Now, you know they got it, but you want them to acknowledge it, right? You want them to say, hey, like that's what you want. You want them to reach out, okay? Or you could say, hey, at any time you get an email from me in the future, hit reply. Like you could just open the door in another vehicle, right? They don't have to hit comments on use Loom. They don't have to, you know, hit the video button and record you a video back. Just let them know my door is always open. Hit reply on any email I send you, and I'll be sure to get your response, right? If that's really what you want. So what kind of engagement are you looking for? Are you looking for people to watch the video? That sounds like it's happening. Are you looking for people to actually reply to you? Then you need to create the conditions where they know exactly what you expect of them. Jocelyn and I are reading a great book right now. What's that book called?
The Four Tendencies.
Yes, the Four Tendencies. Rubin. Yes, the Four Tendencies. Who's it by? Gretchen Rubin. All right, so we're reading this book called The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. You know what? we're going to do this in the book club because it's awesome and it's an amazing book. So maybe next month we're going to fire the book club up and we're going to do Gretchen Rubin, The Four Tendencies. Okay. So this book is all about expectations, right? And it's all about dealing with expectations, and different types of people deal with different expectations in different ways. There's only two types of expectations. There's external and internal expectations, right? So we all have to wrestle with those. And the point of the book really is if expectations are not super clear with consequences, then people probably will not act on them, right? And it just goes back to like what you want your client or your customer or your follower or your audience member to do. If you're not super clear, if you're vague, if your expectations are not spelled out, they will not meet your expectations. And remember, you know the expectations, they don't. And you've got to figure out a way to communicate that with them effectively. Like, our expectation today is for you guys to be in the member call and ask a question. So we spend the first 3 minutes of this call saying, type your question now. Do not wait. There is a delay in the audio. We will not get to your question if you're waiting for a gap in the silence. You need to type your question now. Like we tell you very clearly, that is the expectation. If you're going to be a premium member and you're going to come to a member call, our expectation is that you post your question or a success story. So you need to be more clear on your expectation. You need to write it down and then edit it down to the simplest words you can. And then you need to put that in every one of these videos you send out to get the result that's desired. Okay. But remember, not everybody cares about your expectations. They may think, well, my expectation was I watched your video and I'm done with it now. That's cool as long as they're paying attention. Okay. So clear expectations, quick videos, tell them what you want them to do next, and then make sure you follow up with anybody that actually writes back.
All right. This question is from Crystal. Crystal says, where do you recommend placing blog posts when I don't yet have a running website? And how much content should I have completed before starting my website?
You can post on social media, but you should stop everything until you have a website. Like, just get it done. It takes like 3 days to have a working website. Like, go watch our WordPress training inside the Flip Your Life Blueprint. It will guide you through the entire process. Most website companies now are less than $10 a month to start your first WordPress website. We don't really promote any of those companies because we use private hosting, so I wouldn't feel comfortable promoting any of them right now. So don't worry about that. But just go find one that you are comfortable with, install WordPress. It's literally like using a word processor. So all you need are 3 pages. You need an about page, a contact page, a home page, and then write 3 blog posts, and you have a website, right? The first website I ever started had 1 blog post, and I just built from there. Like, you can't build a house until you lay the first brick. Like every house, no matter how big it is, every building, every tower has the first brick laid, has the first, piece of wood laid down and nailed to another piece of wood. And like, that's exactly how you build your website. So I would say quit putting it off, and like by Friday, have your website up and running. Like, that's your goal. And now you don't ever have to worry about this question again. You can just write blog posts infinitely until kingdom come, and then share those on social media. So I'm not sure exactly what's holding you back. Maybe it's a little bit of fear of technology, but there is a course that walks you through this. It won't be pretty. It won't be perfect. It won't look like everybody else's website right now because it's your first website. So yeah, but you got to start somewhere. So go start your website, and 1 blog post is all you need to start a website. Let's put it that way. So that's all you need.
All right. This is a question from Jeff, and he says, this is Jeff V. He says, can you give me some ideas on lead magnets for service businesses like coaching and consulting? As you know, I'm writing a book and doing speaking, but I need to grow my list with my audience. It's one of the first things to do, and I just get stuck there. So perhaps more specifically, lead magnets targeted to small business owners and mid to upper level management folks who want to be more effective in their leadership.
I like how you skipped over the word riff. Jocelyn ad-libbed. I cannot picture you saying, yo, can you riff on some ideas?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. So sorry. Sometimes I change your questions around to fit my vernacular, I guess you would say.
That's a big word, vernacular. Okay.
I'm not like, I can say
I would probably never say vernacular, but I'm a simple man, Jocelyn. I'm a simple man. Okay. All right. Jeff V. All right. So Jeff has a like coaching and consulting live one-on-one type business. Okay. So at first you may think, well, most lead magnets are an ebook, or there may be a video, or maybe an audio file or something else. Like, how do I do that? Because I'm selling coaching. But remember, lead magnets are just the first step to get someone to what you sell, right? Like when you go to, like a tourist trap place, okay? Maybe you go to like Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We go there all the time. All right. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is this big tourist area. It's where Dollywood is. There's amusement parks there. There's mini golf. There's, the go-karts, swimming pools at every hotel. It's just a place to go get away in the mountains for a couple of days. And basically they just take lots of your money
and drop a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, right. They just
whatever.
they're like a vacuum hose, just sucking money out of your wallet at all times, right? But like when you're going to these places, like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is one of these places. You go into restaurants. What do you see at the very beginning? You see pamphlets of all the local businesses, right? Now, a local business might be a dinner theater show, but they're just going to have a pamphlet with pictures and information, right? They're not going to have people in costume waiting outside of the restaurant performing part of the skit. Like your lead magnet doesn't have to be totally exactly what you do. Your lead magnet could just be a downloadable PDF, a pamphlet that says, hey, learn more about what I do. And it's got a picture like of you on screen talking one-on-one with somebody. Maybe it's got a picture of you shaking someone's hand. You talk about your goods and services. Like a lead magnet can be purely informational. Okay. It could also be showing what you do. It could be demonstrating exactly what you do. You could get permission from one of your clients now and do a one-on-one consultation, and say, hey, watch what we do in this call. And they could opt in to watch the video, right? And they could go see that, and they could see, wow, this is what it looks like. And you could say, then you could follow up with an email. Imagine you on the other side of that one-on-one call. Imagine me helping you with your business. Like, this could happen right now. Let's go. In fact, that's exactly what happens on our podcast every Tuesday. Like, our podcast is not a lead magnet necessarily, but it demonstrates us helping a real person with their online business. You get to see it. You join the community, and now you get to be a part of it too on our member call, right? So information and demonstration is a great way to use your lead magnet to show people what you do. All right. Then you can fall back on getting results and all those other things. You could give them something that gets them a result, which makes them want more.
Yeah, I would suspect that people in this situation, like management people, they would appreciate things like checklist or, the typical types of lead magnets that people do, but just make sure that it's relevant to the type of content that you're sharing. So I think you're just making it too hard. Like, you don't have to come up with a magic bullet. Just make something that's relevant to what you're talking about on that day.
Yeah. I'm going to say something probably a little it sounds controversial, but it's really not. When you have a lead magnet, your goal is to get the email. I don't care if they use it. I don't care if they check the list. I don't care if they watch the video. It doesn't matter to me at that point. Like, my point is to pique your interest enough to put on your email. Once I've got it, I will use every tool imaginable then to sell what I'm selling. Your lead magnet does not sell what you're selling. It just gives you the lead so you can follow up and really sell what you're selling, right? You may have to invite them to a webinar. You may have to do other things in your email. But you guys, the lead magnet doesn't matter. It's like for example, Jocelyn was on a podcast the other day, and it was getting ready to come out. And she goes, oh, no, I told people to go get a lead magnet. And I'm like, what'd you promise them? And she's like, I don't remember. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just make a page and we'll have the opt-in and I'll send them to this thing, and hopefully they'll write us and be like, this isn't what I expected. And I'll be like, what'd you expect? And then I'll write them back and give them that. Like, it didn't matter. Like, the goal that she was on a podcast, people were going to go to a domain that she made up on the fly, right? And then we're going to give them a lead magnet, something. We're going to give them something. And like, that got opt-ins. It's okay. So like, the point, yes, you want it to be relevant. Yes, you want it to solve problems. But guys, don't overcomplicate this lead magnet thing. 99% of people will not complete or use your lead magnet. It's just to get their opt-in. It's just to get their email so that you can sell them the real thing on the other side, right? How many times has the bourbon chicken guy in the mall gave you a piece of chicken and you went over and ordered something else anyway. Doesn't matter. He got in your inbox, which is your mouth, with the food. So like, just get the lead. Just get the lead. Just get the lead. Make it sound really great. Use great copy. Get the lead. Get the lead. If they use it, cool. If they don't, sell them the thing they will.
All right. This next question is from Jeff S. Today's like the day of Jeff. I don't know.
It's Jeff Day on the member call.
Tuesday, April 16th, officially Jeff Day. All right.
Let's put that on the calendar. At every year, we'll just celebrate Jeff Day on our social media pages.
It reminds me of one time we went to this, like, it wasn't an Airbnb, it was like a cabin down in Gatlinburg. And our son, Isaac, he was probably like 4 or 5. He was on the balcony, like it had a porch, and he took off running in a dead run, trying to run into the house. And the screen door was closed, so he didn't realize there was a screen door. He hit the screen door and like fell down.
It looked like one of those cartoons where they go through a wall and there's like still a hole there. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what it looked like. I wanted to go help him, but I started laughing so hard I almost couldn't get out of my chair.
So anyway, on my kids, you know, they're big nerds like we are. And Isaac told Siri to add Isaac's bump head day to the calendar on that day. And so now it's like October or something, he will say, today's Isaac's bump head day. Like, still, this was like years ago. And he still has that on his calendar. So anyway, today is officially Jeff Day. We declare it. So, all right. Let me see here. Jeff S. says, I've been promoting my chocolate course beta group, but I've had no takers yet. The only list I currently have are those who have purchased chocolate from me, about 400 people. Just because they purchase chocolate doesn't mean they're interested in learning how to work with chocolate. So I guess I need a new lead magnet that I can drive people to in order to build a new list. Do you have any thoughts about a lead magnet for something like this? Also, what do you think about my niching down to create a course targeted to homeschoolers?
Okay, there's a lot in there. Let me think here. So what you probably need to do is change your copy a little bit, not to okay, so a little background on Jeff's business. Jeff is literally a master chocolatier who learned the craft in Belgium. I mean, legit. So
like he actually traveled to Belgium
to
and
learn how to
he is
make
a
chocolate.
chocolatier.
Yes, he is a chocolatier. Okay.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So your copy may be over. It would be like a rocket scientist trying to teach someone how to fold a paper airplane, right? It's a little bit of overkill. And if you don't have proper language, it could be wrong. So you need copy that says, learn how to make chocolate from home with your kids. Okay. Like that would pique my interest. Or like it would say, homeschool moms and dads, learn how to make chocolate at home with your kids.
But
Great cooking lesson.
I don't think it has to be geared toward homeschool. I think it can be.
Exactly. He just said, how would I do that?
Okay,
so I threw that in
so
there.
here's another thing. There's nothing wrong with going to your current list and saying, are you interested in this? The thing that I don't want you to do is continue bombarding them if they're not interested. If they open the email, if they click on the link, then there's a chance those people are interested in that thing. If they delete it or unsubscribe, then obviously they're not interested in that thing. So I would definitely segment that list and not continue to hit them with the same offer, like if they're not showing interest.
Yeah.
And I would definitely start writing either on your blog or like doing videos that are geared more toward people who want to learn how to make chocolate, because you know, right now I feel like you're sort of split.
Eating chocolate and making chocolate are not one. Like, I have no desire to make chocolate,
So
but I
just
would do it with the kids if it was a fun activity.
Just make sure that you are creating content that is geared toward people who you want on this other list.
I tell you what I would do. I would go on to Facebook or something and see if I could target like cooking, like home cook shows, like Master Chef Junior. Like, go see if you can target their audience, their face, because you can pick, different pages, different audiences. You can do all kinds of things. You'll have to type this in, but like Chopped, right? The wannabe home cook shows, right? Like, what's another one, Jocelyn? You watch all these shows like Master Chef Junior.
Oh yeah,
Chopped.
I watch all of those.
Yeah. Is there any more of them? Like,
I watch Food Network Star.
Yeah, Food Network Star. Like, that's people dreaming about being the home cook or whatever, right? Like, if you could create, or maybe you just target the Food Network, like people who like the Food Network's page or whatever, because these are people that like to cook. So, and They like to cook lots of things. Maybe they like to cook, chocolate. Okay. And then your ad copy would say, make real Belgian chocolate from home. And then in parentheses, you put with your kids. Like that is going to spark more interest. That's going to get people. And then like maybe you teach them how to make something really, really super simple that's like easy. You can do it in a night. It's a 30-minute recipe. And that's what your lead magnet is, right? Like do this with your kids tonight. It'll take you 30 minutes. The family will have a great time. Go ahead and do it. And then you follow up with, oh, well, that's someone who downloaded a lead magnet who's making chocolate. Maybe they want to take it to the next level. You could even like talk about how you make money off this. Like you sell this chocolate at Christmas time and things like that. So like maybe you could follow up with, hey, I taught you how to make chocolate. I can teach you how to make a real Belgian chocolate from home, and you can even sell this to make some extra money for Christmas presents.
I would like to see you maybe try to do some specialty packages. So maybe the next one you might do would be for Halloween. So that gives you a little bit of time to work on it. So maybe come up with a little kit that you could sell to people for Halloween and test it out to see how it works. Like sort of like these boxes that people order each month. I'm not saying you should do a subscription box exactly, but I like the idea
Ooh,
of
that is good.
seeing an ad in my Facebook feed. Oh, here's something fun to do with your kids for Halloween. And maybe you could kind of cater it to the homeschool market, because we're always looking for things to do that are a little bit different, or something that we can do together with our kids that isn't like super difficult to do.
Can you imagine like Jeff could do an ad every month, like here's the Valentine's bundle, like make chocolates for your sweethearts at school from home, like homemade chocolates for your kids. Then in March, like you could teach them how to make green chocolate for St. Patrick's Day. In April, I don't know what you do, but then you just keep going.
Easter.
Yeah, Easter. That's right. You do Easter candy. May, June, July. I mean, you could just keep going and find something every month. You would have 12 promotions every month if you could target this home cook. I do like the home school type market. You could have 2 campaigns for this, but basically,
you could just test them against each other.
yeah, and like it's not like it's going to change. I mean, Easter's every year, Christmas is every year, Valentine's Day is every year.
But I would say start with one, keep it super simple. Like, maybe you don't even mail them anything. Maybe it's a completely online thing for the first one. Then if that works well, then maybe you could start preparing for Christmas and say, okay, well, I'm actually going to mail you these molds or whatever it is.
Or he could link to the Amazon links. Like that's what some people do.
Yeah,
who do
you could
like
totally
recipe
do that.
sites. They just send a document once a month that gives you the complete instructions, what's a video, and then there's literally affiliate links to the chocolate in there.
And maybe even your Halloween offer could be a free one, just to get people on the list. So sign up for my free make Halloween candy with your kid challenge, or whatever it is.
My guess is that's how it would flow. Like maybe 4 of them a year, or like Easter, Halloween, like 2 or 3 of them would be big get email drives, and then you sell all the other ones in the membership, right? Basically.
Yeah. So I would maybe try it. Type in the chat, like, is this something you think might possibly work, something you'd be interested in doing? Because I think that would be something kind of interesting, and it would help you to be able to get those really super targeted leads.
Yeah, the calendar. That's what's crazy. Like people eat chocolate at certain times of year, and the calendar.
Some people eat chocolate at all times
of year, but they think about it more. You know what I'm saying? So like you've got a huge advantage here if you just got to find the home cooks. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and Allison says, I would buy that if it came with a video showing me how. And I agree. Like, I would too. If it was something that I could be convinced was really simple and that my kids would enjoy.
The kids would love that. Can you imagine them looking forward to getting the chocolate kit? Because they get to eat it. Like you're just building memories. And
that could even be a subscription box.
It could be a subscription box.
Subscription boxes are kind of a special type of.
You've got to basically get people to give you all the stuff that goes in the box. Like
there's
you don't buy it and send it out.
There's a lot of logistics that go along with that, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't write it off. I would at least explore the idea. But
at first, a video, the instructions, and what they're making, and then how to get the stuff, like ordered on Amazon or something like that.
Okay, so hopefully that wasn't idea overkill. Sometimes we get a little carried away. Okay, let's see. This question is from Cynthia, and preparing for the live event in Lexington. fliplifestyle.com/live. I'm researching to update my avatar. I have hundreds of resource videos and worksheets with sign language for teachers, and I believe it's time to focus more. I want to poll my members to see why they have joined and why they are staying. What questions do you suggest I ask?
I would ask questions like, why did you join?
Well,
And why did you stay? No, I'm just kidding.
okay, so an easy way to do that without saying, "Hey, why'd you join?" Just say, "How did you discover my site?" Because and kind of just leave it open ended and see what people say. So maybe someone would say, I was searching for a sign language activity on Easter or whatever. So that would give you a lot of insight to how people discovered you and like why they joined. And you could also ask questions like, what's the number one reason you decided to join my site?
I would probably too, like Jocelyn said, make these spaced out in open-ended questions. Jocelyn and I rarely do traditional surveys. I don't really like them. Like we ask questions and we let people hit reply to the email. Usually when I do one of these, open-ended surveys, I'll get 80 to 100 responses back from our email list. And like, man, it's just gold. Just take a night and sit down and read through these things. Because if you get people talking, like if you say, how did you discover my site? Right? They're going to write back. The first paragraph is going to be how they discovered your site. And then they're going to dump everything they think about your website into this email. And you're going to learn about that person even more. Right? So it's not like a survey with dots. It's literally make a 7-day email campaign and ask the 7 questions you want. Like, how did you discover my site? Why do you stick around? What is your favorite thing about my site?
Yeah,
what
so
is the
that's
worst thing about my site? And then you
that's a
got to have
good
things
way
down.
of asking people like, why are you staying? Instead of saying, why haven't you canceled yet? I mean, you don't want to say that. So instead you would want to frame it as, what are your favorite parts about this membership? What do you
Parts do
think
need improvement.
Yeah, what do you think we could improve? Those are nice ways of saying that without asking people directly.
You could ask other questions too, like that could give you some insight into your audience. Like how did you get involved with the deaf community? Right? Like maybe then they were, maybe they would say like, my parents couldn't hear, or maybe they said I had a child, so I got into education, or I've always wanted to do this because I learned sign language in kindergarten. I thought it was interesting. Like learning the background a little bit more of who these people are and what they're thinking and like why they're in this space in the first place. That's one thing that we love to learn about our members is like what pushed you into I want to make money online. I want to change the trajectory of my family's future. Like what was the catalyst that brought you to us? Like that's really important information because it helps you tailor your marketing to get them to your product. It might not change your product, but it'll help you speak more of the language of your person. And also to just don't ask too many questions. Like, you can, humans are really good at having a conversation and getting a feel for people. Like when you hear me and Jocelyn talk, or you meet someone at a coffee shop, or you're having dinner, like you ever notice how you just get the vibe from somebody? Like, I don't know if I like this vibe, or oh, that's good, or oh, wow, I didn't know that. Like conversation is how we are hardwired to understand each other. So like the more conversational your quote unquote surveys are, the better. There is a place at times to get real data. Like when we're doing Flip Your Life Live planning, we need to say, okay, here are the 5 dietary restrictions. What are, who has these, right? Like we need to know that. Like that's statistical data, right? But most of the time, understanding your avatar comes down to talking to your avatar. So I would sit down for 15 minutes, take some of the questions that we just said, and then riff off of that and go like 5 or 6 more questions, and then just set up an email for each one. Let your campaign roll for 10 days and then read all the responses. If you do that, you're going to have a lot better understanding of who your avatar actually is.
Okay. This question is from Janet. Janet says, do you have any suggestions for staying present in my audience of teachers in May and June without pushing sales as they take a little break at that time of year? I was thinking a 5-day challenge or other ideas to keep them engaged during the summer months, like a different angle on selling, like get prepared for next year.
Usually the best answer there is to be a part of their life. Like just do things like happy 4th of July, hey, happy 4th of July from us. Here's a free packet, June, send things like, summer tips for your family, right? Like go off script, but still be around, Does that make sense? Like, so in May and June and July, when your teachers are out of school and they are thinking about summer vacation and they are thinking about doing other things, like be a part of their life. Don't just be this robot business partner who sends them lesson plans every day, right? Like that's not what your job is. For example, yesterday, as we're recording this, it's the day after the Notre Dame fire in Paris. And, you know, we, like everybody else in the world yesterday, watched in horror as the steeple fell and, you know, this massive monument that stood for almost 1,000 years burnt, right? And I was sitting there thinking, you know, I have a history degree. I was a history teacher, and at my nature, I love history. I just love I love everything that got us to where we are now as a society. And I just got really heartbroken yesterday because I thought about all the priceless woodwork and art and relics and just all the history that was being consumed inside of that building. So I went to my U.S. history teacher's site and I just posted about it. I posted a picture of the fire and I said, man, just as a historian, you know, I know we talk about U.S. history, but, you know, European history is a part of our history and world history is a part of their history. And, you know, this is a loss to the world. And it got like almost 100 shares in the first hour after I posted it. I wasn't giving them a lesson. I wasn't doing anything. I was just being present, having the conversation. Like, this is something that's happening in the world. It's related to what we're doing, and I need to be a part of that. So think about what your avatar is doing this summer and be a part of that. And then you'll be around. They will be around still when you're ready to actually like sell them stuff. Okay. I think you did professional development stuff in June and July too, didn't you?
Yeah, so I would do a lot of PD and like free trainings. So basically, the point of the trainings would be just to get people on the email list so that I could later market to them. But yeah, I just did a lot of like free stuff and preparing for open house, that type of thing as you would get closer to like July. I spent a lot of the summer months just kind of talking to people, post some funny memes on your Facebook page about teachers in the summer, you know, just remind them that you're there, but don't push sales on them too much. Another thing you can do is a lot of people turn over their budgets in the summertime. So you can start reminding them, hey, I accept purchase orders. Like if you've ever thought about joining, as your budget's reset for the upcoming school year, just remember that I accept purchase orders, that type of thing. So basically, just remind them that you're there without being salesy. All right.
All right, guys.
Let me see.
Before we get to our next question, we want to remind you about Flip Your Life Live. So go to flippedlifestyle.com/live. We are in the middle right now, guys, of weekly trainings. If you love the Q&As, if you love to come ask questions, then you would be over the moon with our weekly Q&As that we're doing with our live event attendees. I am every Monday or Tuesday at the beginning of every single week, I am getting online and taking people through the Flip Your Life Blueprint one step at a time. And I'm doing additional trainings that cannot be found anywhere else inside of the Flip Your Life community during these live attendee sessions. These are only for people who are coming to Flip Your Life Live to prepare them for the event. We want to get people to launch their business before the event. We want to get people's products done, get their avatars figured out. We want maximum clarity when we arrive in Lexington, Kentucky, and we want you guys to be there with us. So if you do not have your ticket yet, go to flippedlifestyle.com/live and get your ticket today. We want you to be there. We want to meet you in person. We want to hug everybody in the room. We want you guys to meet each other. That's what takes your life to the next level, is when you surround yourselves with great people, not just virtually. The community is amazing. It's awesome watching what happens in the forums every single day, but you cannot replace live meetings. So go to fliplifestyle.com/live. We want everybody in this room to be there too. Okay. All right. What is our next question?
All right. Our next question is from Kareem. She says, I am going to start doing student interviews about their Spanish learning journey. I already have several interviews lined up. I have a question on the best platform to put the interview. Should I start a podcast or a YouTube channel or Facebook Live? Muchas gracias.
Why not do them all? Like, you don't have to do extra work. Imagine this. Imagine if you did the student interview, recorded it, and then just uploaded it to YouTube, upload it to Facebook, and make it a podcast. You can just take the audio right off of the file. That's how you become prolific, is you figure out how you can take one piece of content and use it everywhere. Okay. A YouTube video is a great example of this. Like if you do a YouTube live, you've done a live video, you got people to show up live, you interacted with an audience. It's amazing, right? And then download it and upload it to Facebook. Some of you may have saw on our YouTube channel the other day, I was taking a shower and Isaac and Anna, we've taught them how to do YouTube. Like they know how to do YouTube live. They know how to make videos. They know how to edit videos. So they went in and hijacked our YouTube live, right? While I was out there. And they also broke my microphone in my office during the YouTube live and almost my WWE championship belt that sits on my desk. So not cool. Anyway, they did this and I thought it was hilarious. So I just downloaded it and uploaded it to Facebook to make sure other people could see it. Right. They downloaded it and they're going to put it on their YouTube channels, even though it's the same video, because they want it on their YouTube channels too. Like just use the content everywhere. You can take an embed from a YouTube and put it over on your website and then write a blog post about it. Done. You can strip the audio and make it into a podcast, right? You can do 10 YouTube videos, put them together and curate them into a course, and you don't have to do extra work. So like that's how you become prolific. It's online business is usually not either or, it's all of the above, right? So figure out how you can reuse, repurpose, and recycle your content on many different platforms. That's how everybody, but like it appears people are everywhere. You know, when you see me post on Twitter, I almost never actually post on Twitter. It's almost always from our Instagram feed. I just have them connected, right? I use Instagram not because I want an Instagram following, but because it lets me post on our Facebook page and Twitter at the same time. So that's what you're figuring out, how to fork in the road. How do I do one thing once and get it everywhere? So I would do all three. I would put them anywhere because every place you post something, someone has a chance to actually find it.
But if the idea of posting it in multiple places makes you want to run away screaming, then pick one that you want to do and do it. Okay. We are moving on to Eva. She says, I feel like I need an additional strategy for getting new members other than pitching them on a webinar. The webinar strategy takes quite a bit of effort in terms of publicity, and I only end up getting a few new members each time. Because of the LTV of each member is only a few months, I question the effectiveness of this particular strategy for my business. Through some basic Googling, I came across the concept of a joint venture launch. What are your thoughts on the strategy?
Okay, so you're probably not going to like this answer, but Jocelyn and I hate joint ventures. Okay, joint venture launches can work. I have a friend who does make quite a bit of money with his joint ventures, but joint venture launches usually only benefit the big dogs, right? Like right now, there's one going on, and our inbox has been lit up with it lately. And you know, we know kind of how the back end works. Let's say the big dog launches their new course, and they get their 20 joint ventures to do it. Well, like the big dog's going to make $1 million, but everybody below them is going to make 5 to 10% of that, maybe at most, right? And that's just one example. You have to give away half your money whenever you do a joint venture, right? Now, can you get in front of a big audience? Is it a good strategy to use once or twice? Maybe, but we don't like it. Number one, you need to have a deep relationship with anybody who you have a joint venture with so you can trust them. How do you know they're telling you the right data? How do you know they're giving you your part of the money, right? How do you know they're actually driving your thing? We had a friend once that was doing joint venture launches. And what was it that happened to Jessica? The joint venture guy found out she was having a sale, and he was supposed to do a webinar to direct people to that, and he was directing it to his own thing. So basically, he would get more commission or something like that. Like he figured out a way to beat the system. Like if you can't trust someone with the keys to your house, you probably don't need to do a joint venture product launch with them. Okay. And I know that webinars are hard, and I do know it is time consuming, but they build momentum over time, and you control everything. If you just suck it up and get through the initial parts of it, and your audience grows and you get bigger, yes, webinars are hard, but they take longer. But then 2 years down the road, you have 5,000 members, you have 500 members, you have 1,000 members, and you're stacking more on top of it every week, and you can evergreen that thing because you've gotten it good enough. So a lot of people love joint ventures. I personally think it is the online business equivalent of an MLM scam. I think it is a pyramid scheme designed to benefit the guy at the top because the people at the bottom don't want to go build their brand. No sugar, from my experience over the last 7 years of doing this and seeing people do it, I've seen way more people burned or make nothing off of joint ventures than anything else. Now, there is one exception to that: a virtual summit where you share leads. When it's not involving money, I think there is some benefit in doing that. If you have a joint venture with other baby people, other people that are doing the things in your space, and it's designed to do a summit where you're all going to make a course and you create this big live event and you all go out and you get 5,000 new emails and you share all the emails. I don't care if we share audiences, right? But joint ventures can get really sticky. And to me, it's like the MLM stuff. I just don't see the people in the joint venture benefiting very much from it at all. So, if you can get someone to support you, maybe, but it's harder than it looks. You're going to have to go out and make some deep connections to get it right.
I find the joint ventures to be a little bit short-sighted. You're going to make money, but then people end up being like dependent on it. And I think you can sort of like wear your list out with that. That's why I don't particularly love them personally. So there are other strategies that you
Can
can
I
do.
piggyback off that before you move, though? Jocelyn just made an amazing point, if you didn't catch it, that it's a short-sighted strategy. It feels good to get the initial hit. I had a buddy the other day I was talking to, and he does a lot of joint ventures, and he kind of regrets it because the way you make real money with people is building a relationship and getting customers to continue to buy things, right? That's how you make a living online. Well, he goes and does these joint ventures, and it's someone else's audience, and they may buy their initial thing, and it may be a little more than he could have done on his own, but then they never buy anything else from him because they have no relationship. And we were talking about the natures of our lists, and like Jocelyn said, like, it's short term. He got a little money, but then nobody buys anything later. Like, and we talk about our open rates. We talk about the responsiveness of our community, and they're amazed because he's like, I just don't have that relationship with my list. But that's why he has to keep going back to other people's audiences to make more money, and it can be kind of dangerous. So Jocelyn just made a really good point there about the short-sightedness of those launches.
So if you don't like doing webinars, I mean, find something else that works. Find something that works better. So, maybe be a guest on people's podcast. Maybe make your webinar evergreen so that people can filter through it and you don't have to be there live every time. There are other ways to do it. Maybe try some paid ads, try some Google ads, try some Facebook ads, try some Twitter ads. Try some different stuff and see what is working for your business. Just because one person does something doesn't mean that you have to do it the same way.
It is a lot of effort to buckle down and build your own audience and build your own list and build your own webinars and do it. Sometimes there's 10 people show up, sometimes there's 100, but it snowballs. And in our opinion, you will be better off in the long run for doing that than doing the JV launches. So there's a lot of people disagree with us. I've debated this with many different people who may be smarter than me, but that's how we feel about it.
Well, there's different ways to do business. You have to decide which way works best for you. All right. Janet says, is the way that you organize the history teachers resources searchable in the forum? My current membership is not searchable and members have requested that feature.
Yes. We have a search engine in our forums. There's one in Flip Your Life as well. Like, if you get in there, the search engines aren't perfect. They're not like as good as Google, but if you go type in lead magnet, it's going to pull up a lot of conversations about lead magnet. In our US history teacher site, it's a little bit easier for us, I think, because we can organize it top to bottom in order by year of history. Like, I get to start at 1492 and work toward 2019 or whatever. So, like, if you log into our community, it's organized by curriculum in the order you teach it. So it literally says the dates, 1492 to whatever. So you could organize your forums top to bottom in order. Like, that's a great way to do that if you don't want to make it searchable. You could have a video showing them how to use it. Or you could even, this is actually a great way to drive conversation. This little trick here. You can start a forum called Find a Resource. And like, that's where people go. Like, you can put the search forum and people can say, hey guys, where's the lesson on the letter S in Spanish or whatever. I don't know anything about Spanish, but like, and they would write that, and then other members might talk to them. You could see that and go in and talk to them. So it actually could be a great way to drive engagement, right? To help each other find lesson plans and stuff. And also, too, how big is the problem for real? Like, have more than 5% of your audience actually complained about this? If not, don't worry about it. 95% of people are using it correctly. So there are better search plugins that you can use for forums or for whatever. I don't know exactly what you've built your platform on, but you do need some kind of search available. People just like it like a safety net.
Usually, for every type of system that you're using, there's usually plugins for that system. I would encourage you to go to the developer's website and look and see what all's available. Usually, you can buy them fairly inexpensively. Like there will be a search one, there might be one where people can update their profile. There's different ones that you can look at. So I would definitely check that out. If it's a functionality that the developer has not come up with yet, or they haven't like developed, I guess you would say. You can also get on like a website such as, different coding websites, and you can hire someone to go in and like custom code it for that particular system.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So if you go into like Upwork or something, we use one called Buddy Boss. So if I went to Upwork, I would search for Buddy Boss and I would find someone who knows that system and has worked with it before.
It's another reason, guys, like I know there's a lot of different platforms out there for hosting membership sites and hosting courses. This is the reason why we use WordPress. It's the reason why when we decided to start our community the way, it's why we use BBPress. It's made by the people who made WordPress. You can find a WordPress coder to do anything. It's the easiest, cheapest, most ubiquitous platform on the planet to build your system. It's why our courses are in forums. It's why our when we do pages, like we have a special page for Flip Your Life Live attendees to go watch courses. I made a page on WordPress. Like, if you use WordPress for your membership, it's a lot easier to find people to work on it, and it's a lot cheaper. So that's one reason why we don't get fancy. We say, hey, anything we do, other people should be able to do, or someone else should be able to work on it very effectively. And are there hangups? Yes. Jocelyn is not always happy with the way our forums look or always happy with the way our site works. We talk about this all the time, like what if we did this? What if we did that? But it comes down to ease of use, and it comes down to, can we change things? And sometimes we get caught up in changing everything for the 5% of people who can't figure it out. And we forget that 95% of people have no problems, right? So be careful going down these rabbit holes. Try to work around it. Like that idea I had, like, hey, can you use this weakness in your system, no search bar, to drive engagement in your community? And then maybe you can use that, spin it to something else. Okay.
All right. We have a success story from Kareem. She says, I relaunched my elementary Spanish curriculum for the whole family membership and got 27 families to join.
Wow. That's
That's
awesome.
Yeah,
that is
so
absolutely
good.
amazing. And I remember back when Kareem would say, are you sure this is going to work? She's like, are you sure this is going to work? I'm like, yeah, it's going to work. Just keep going. 27 people. And Jocelyn and I have a circle on our calendar. We're probably going to be joining as well because our kids need to learn Spanish. So it's going to be awesome.
All right. And this is the last call for questions. We are to the final one. So if you have anything, you can stick it in there and we will answer. This is from Laura. She says, I asked some of my members for testimonial videos and I've gotten 4 so far. Good job. I asked them to respond to this question in the video. What were things like before you joined and how are things different for you now? What are some strategic ways I can use these videos in emails, my websites, or other ideas?
Yeah, I would break them apart and use them in ads is what you should use them for. You definitely need them on your sales page, right? Testimonials go on your sales page. If you go look at our sales page, it's like we have a testimonial video. We've got like 10 testimonials in the copy. I've got a sidebar that's nothing but testimonials. I think some of the people in this room are on our sales page as testimonials. So you definitely need it there. But those can make great little 30-second ad spots, right? Like just cut a piece out, show an ad, and at the end you fade in and give a call to action to click a link, right? So basically testimonials go in ad campaigns, right? They go all over your website. A homepage is a great place for testimonials. We've got like a little scrolling text thing over some buttons or something like that. So you can stick them on the front page of your website. That way everybody that goes there gets to see them. I love the sidebar for testimonials because the sidebar appears on every page of your website. So just cut those up and use those on your ads and anywhere you promote anything, right? that's the best way to use testimonials. So don't overthink it. Just put it everywhere, right?
Yeah, and I would pull some quotes out of them to use in text. So you don't want to just depend on the videos. Having the videos is amazing, but also pull out some of the quotes and put them in text on your website, because not everyone will watch a video. I will very rarely watch a video online, just because I don't know, my kids are usually doing something in the background and I just don't want any more noise. But a lot of people will, a lot of people won't. So, appeal to all people with text and video. I love this question from Brooke. Brooke says, do you have any tips on how to get my spouse on board with me spending the money to attend the live event?
Okay, so there's a couple things for this. We do not recommend you just go order the ticket and disappear for 3 days. That would be bad. So
Or
don't do
not
that.
tell your spouse or
That
do
you
it
order
behind
the
their
ticket
back.
and be like, yeah,
Please
right.
don't do
Please
that.
don't do that. Okay. And here's what's funny. We've had people do that before. They're like, I bought my ticket. I'm going to tell them later. So don't
We
do that.
do not advocate for that.
Advocate that. Okay. So there's 2 or 3 ways to attack this. Okay. Number one, can you sell stuff to make the money for the trip? Right? Can you get rid of some things and minimize some things? Like we used to do this all the time. We would have yard sales. We would sell stuff on Facebook to get the money that we needed. Like we've done that to go to live events in the past. Right?
Yeah, and I actually told this story not too long ago. So back this December, Shane and I were like, oh, we were spending way too much money. Like we got to cut back. Well,
We're very frugal folks. We are.
Well,
not always.
Not really. But anyway, so I wanted to have someone come and decorate my house for Christmas because, we have a really nice property and I wanted it to look really nice because we have parties at our house. So I wanted to bring in a decorator. Well, Shane didn't want to do that because it's very expensive to bring in
the last decorator. I was scared. The last decorator cost like $25,000.
Okay.
That decorated our whole house.
Well, that was a little different, but it wasn't quite that.
It still scared me. I thought it was the same lady, and she charges a lot of money.
No, so this was a thing where I wanted to hire someone to come in and basically just decorate my tree and decorate.
Basically, we disagreed on how we were going to spend this money. Right.
So I said, okay, well, if you won't get on board with us spending the money to do it, then I'm going to go find things to sell. So what I did is I went through both of my kids' closets. I started a Facebook group and I started selling stuff. And I
made hundreds of dollars.
I made enough money to be able to buy the decoration or to pay the person to come in and decorate. And we didn't have to spend any other money that we had planned to spend on something else. So I was happy. Shane was happy, and I got rid of a bunch of junk in my house.
So this was like just a disagreement on how we were going to spend our money, basically, right? I wanted to go on a trip one time, like to WrestleMania. It was like the first or the second time I went. I can't remember. And again, Jocelyn wanted to take another trip. We disagreed with our family. We disagreed on how we should spend the money. So I actually did a bunch of one-on-one coaching calls on my own because we had a disagreement on our budget. Jocelyn and I, in our family, we put all of our money in one pot. We share the expenses, and we have to agree on how we're spending our money, right? So I know some people separate their budgets and whatever. But like for us, like this is the source of conflict. Like, how are we going to spend our money? How are we going to buy these ads? How are we going to hire this person? How are we going to spend that? So usually our solution to, I don't want you to spend that money, or I want to spend money that you don't want to spend is, okay, fine. You have to go make it yourself. It has to be outside of the regular income. Okay. That's one of our solutions for that. So you could do that. Another thing is you could show and demonstrate the return on investment that other people have gotten. There's lots of testimonials on that sales page. I think last year about Blair. Blair came and signed up for the event, and she came in and launched her product, and she ended up moving her business from like $4,000 a month to $20,000 a month. So she literally now makes $16,000 a month more because she came to the event than she made before. So that makes the $797 or $897 or whatever investment it is to go to the event pale in comparison to literally creating a 6-figure business, right? So it's not just about I'm going to the event. Like you have to show your spouse, this is an investment. This is not a fun trip. Shane and Jocelyn are going to make me work the whole time, right? And they're going to be with me every week going up to it. Like you can't buy a course cheaper than the ticket to Flip Your Life Live that actually has office hours every single week where someone's guiding you to the event. Like nobody else does that. So you got to be able to demonstrate the investment. You got to be able to demonstrate the value. You can take it upon yourself to make the money outside of the normal expenses. And then you just have to come to an agreement. And they may not agree. I mean, I can't, give you a magic wand
But
to show you how to do that.
The place I would go to is, okay, if I would be able to sell things to make, say, half of the money or all of the money, would you be on board with it then? And then, I would appeal to logic. So, assuming your spouse is a logical person, okay, here are the people who went last year. Here are the successes they've had. If I do this, I will be more motivated because I'm going to work on it every single week. And I don't want to show up and be the only person who doesn't have anything done.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also do this. There's a neat marketing trick. There's a neat marketing trick called "If It Just." ... Okay. So write that down. This is great for sales pages too. Okay. Because you could say, if it just let me launch my product and that product made us $200 a month.
Would that be worth it?
Would that be worth it? I mean, I'd spend $1,000, I'd make $1,000 a year off of this. It would do something else. Or if it just let me get my product launched and we made $500 a month, I could pay our car payment, right? If this just did this, like forget about the big dream of I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like if it just helped me finish this thing and that just made us $500 a month forever, wouldn't that be worth it?
If
right?
it just allowed me to meet 3 or 4 people that I jive with and we joined a mastermind group and it kept me motivated for the next year, would that be worth it?
Yeah. If it just let me go do this so you could do the other trip that you want to take, right? Like, so you might have to negotiate that, but like, if this just did this, wouldn't it be worth it? Like, that's how you present that. You can do that in webinars. You can do that on podcasts. You can do that to your spouse. Like, look, if it just did this, wouldn't that be worth it? That's how you present that argument. And the argument has to be true, right? Like that's another thing about that. Like, if it just let me finish my course, I could launch it and we could maybe make some money. Wouldn't that be worth it?
On the same token, you have to be all in. Like, you can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this investment, but I might follow through, might not, like you can't be halfway in. Like, you have to be all in and you have to show them that you are going to make it work.
Like, yeah, that's the thing too. Like, in the beginning, when we started out, like I was really going crazy and we actually have a course about this in the Flip Your Life Blueprint, like how to get my spouse on board with my online business dream. So like we went through this, like, but Jocelyn always at the end of any of these discussions that I was talking about, she would just say, okay, but prove it. You have a responsibility, Brooke, if you come to Flip Your Life Live, to prove it to your spouse. You have to prove that it was worth the time and the money to get there. That's why we do Flip Your Life Live too, guys. It's to give you something you got to earn. Like, you don't just buy a ticket to Flip Your Life Live if you don't want it. You don't just, get on an airplane or get in a car and travel to Lexington, Kentucky unless you want it. You don't sit through, 2 long days, and we don't mess around, man. There's Q&As. We're on stage talking. We're helping you guys. You actually work at the event. Like, this isn't just take a break. It's like get to work, right? Like, this is hardcore. This is made for people who are sick of not making it to the next level, and they need this catalyst to get them over the hump. Right? It's made for people who are sick of staring down the flat plane of a plateau and they can't grow their business and they're ready to do something to shake things up. So it's the same thing with your spouse. Like, you got to prove it. You got to earn it. You got to go get it and then come back and say, look, I told you so. I went to this. Now we're doing this and it was worth it. Right?
Yeah. And Brooke says, I'm definitely all in. She says, I've gained 30 members since joining in February.
That is a success story. See, you got to tell us stuff like this.
Yes.
You may have already posted it. I missed that one. That's awesome. That's amazing. So look, this is a part of the argument and negotiation with your spouse, right? Like, you just go say, look,
it's not an argument. It's a discussion.
It's usually an argument, but whatever.
Okay,
It becomes.
If you're at our house, it's an argument.
Probably an argument. Okay. But like, if you go to them and say, look, I made this investment. I joined the membership at this price. And look at the return. Look, it's it's mathematical. Like, if you got 30 members, I don't know how much you're charging your members, but I'm just going to pick my standard $50, whatever. If you have 30 members and $50, you made $1,500, and let's say you're at the highest tier of monthly membership in the Flip Your Life community of $97, which I'm not exactly sure where you're at. Okay. She said he's an attorney. It's an argument. Okay. It's $25. Okay. So you've got a membership where you have 30 people paying you $25 a month. Okay. So 30 times 30. I'm just going to say 30 people times $30. All right.
Hold
That's
on, I'll do 25. I've got a
yeah,
calculator.
Okay. All
Up.
right. Do the math.
Okay, $750.
Okay. So you've invested X dollars a month. Let's say it's 97, or say it's 49. It's our $49 premium plan. You've invested $50. You've added 30 members. You're now making 750. So that is a huge ROI. So what happens if you do the live event? Like, that's the argument. Like, right? Like, look, this was, almost, was that 10 times? 50, 50.
I don't know.
It's like 14 times more money than you invested in the monthly membership, right? So what if you get a 14 times in return on your investment? We're going to the live event, because it is that next level. Like, ask anyone who's been, it changes the game.
It's a bigger risk for a lot of people because it is time away from your family. It's money that you're spending traveling. It is a big investment in both time and money. And we know this. We have spent over $100,000 attending live events. So we know all about the time and money investment that you have in going to live events. But there's a bigger reward. So with greater risk can come greater reward. So just some ammunition. And if you need to play this back for him,
Yeah, go ahead.
maybe he'll forgive us.
If you play this back for him, I'm going to challenge him to come too. Y'all just need to just bring him. We'll show him. Let him sit down there. He'll be going home starting an online business.
Brooke, figure out how many members you need to get to make up the.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what's 797 divided by 25?
Let's see. That is 31.
Okay, so you've already got 30 members. So look, this is an argument me and Jocelyn make all the time. Like, poor mindset people say I can't afford it. Wealth mindset people say, how can I afford it? All you got to do is go find 30 members. Like, you don't even have to sell anything.
Or a combination. Find 15 members and sell some stuff in your house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's just 1 month. If you go get 30 members, that's 30 members a month. Like, what's the, let's see, what's 30 divided by 6? 5. Never mind. What am I talking about? That's simple math. All right. Yeah. All right.
And like that, I sat here and thought about it.
Like, you literally only need 5 members right now, this month. And over the next 6 months, those members would pay for your ticket. You only need 5 human beings to give you $25 a month to pay for this ticket between now and the live event.
Brooke, this is an easy sell.
This is an easy sell, man. Like, come on. Like, if I was selling this, your husband would probably be going with you to the trip. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So,
and see, talk him into coming too, and then he can start his business.
Or just too. Like, come to Lexington. Like, yeah, like
no excuses.
You do the thing of the day, and
all right.
5 members.
Jennifer says it's so worth it. I feel like I've already got my money's worth with just the 2 trainings that we've had so far. We haven't even finished the weekly trainings or gone to the actual event. I always told my husband I would make the money back after any event or course I bought. Now my husband is starting his own membership. I think I have finally changed.
That's right. That's right. Clark's in. Jennifer's in. Brooke, just go play this.
You got to be there, Brooke.
You gotta be there. Yeah.
You got this. We believe in you. Okay. Let me see. Lene says, when you launch beta, should I have, for example, a beta price of $19 per month, monthly price of $29, and a quarterly price of $59?
Only sell one price when you launch a beta launch. So pick one. Don't confuse people. Like, just say it's in. It's locked. Here's how you actually do this. If you want to start a beta membership and you want to charge $19 a month, you tell people this will be raised to X dollars a month. And so they have one option: get in now at this amazing price, or wait till later and you're going to have to pay for it. Right. So don't have a lot of options at your beta launch, like annuals and stuff like that. Like, build your monthly base. We actually, guys, are thinking about discontinuing annual plans. Because we want to simplify the options for everybody. Okay. So, like, don't get caught up in annuals and quarterlies and all that. Like, hey, I'm going to charge $49 a month for this eventually. You can get in now forever for $19 and your price will never change. That's how you launch a beta membership. Don't get too complicated into like multiple price points.
Okay. She says, I saw online where a guy in my space is charging like $197 for the first 9 lessons and then $17 a month for membership. I mean, you can definitely try that. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah. That's called a join fee. Right now, here's my opinion on join fees, because I know you're just dying for my 2 cents on this. But here's my opinion on join fees. Join fees are a sign that a program sucks. Join fees to me are always a huge red flag that program is terrible. Nobody's getting results from it, and they just want as much of my money up front as possible, right? It's why you can join the Flip Your Life community for just the monthly. Like, we know our program's awesome. We know hundreds of people's families' futures have been changed through it, and we know that if you just do what it says, you're going to take massive action and you're going to flip your life, right? I don't need a join fee, a gate to keep people out, or like, people think it shows like, oh, added value. No, it doesn't. It says, man, nobody stays in my membership more than a month. I need to get as much money from them as possible, and then milk it dry at the backside, right? So even though that guy's got a join fee, it probably is an indicator that people were not staying in his monthly membership long enough for him to make money. So he decided, I'm going to get some more money up front, and then I don't care if they succeed, right? So don't get caught up in other people's pricing. Like, go get 1,000 people to give you $29 a month. You win forever if you do that. Like, just go get your 500, go get your 1,000, brick by brick, build it, stack them on top of each other, and you'll have a stable, predictable monthly income that you can rely on.
Okay, Jennifer would like to know, have we used Amazon to create space to help spread the word on an ebook?
No, we have not.
No, but I would post that in the community. Maybe someone in there.
There are a lot of people that are using Amazon in the community to promote their stuff, and that one is not in our line of expertise. But I might experiment with you. Go post about it. I'd like to read what you're talking about, and I'll research it, and maybe I'll try something.
All right. Jennifer also says, I finished my first ebook on Google Sheets. I saw a YouTube video on creating one in Canva like you did in your cover. Have you done that? I have not, but there are tons of templates in there. So, I mean, you could definitely do that. Actually,
I think our old ebook course was done with Google Sheets. I'm pretty sure I made it in Google Sheets.
But she's asking about Canva. If you go into the Flip Your Life blueprint files, all of the workbooks were made in Canva. We didn't personally do them, but we had an assistant do them.
So even the pages were created in Canva?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how you do it. Like, it doesn't matter.
So you can look and see what it turns out like in those workbooks.
There's also a really cool tool called Designer, DESIGNERR. And it like turns your blog posts into ebooks, which make great PDFs for downloading and lead magnets and stuff. So it's a neat tool I've played with before, if you're looking for something easy. But I think you're like designing stuff from scratch, so it might be a good thing. But like, don't overcomplicate your ebooks, guys. The first ebook that I ever had that sold more than $10,000 worth of stuff, it was literally done in Google Drive, Google Sheets. I typed it and I had pictures. It's all it was. It wasn't fancy graphics. It didn't look beautiful. It was a manuscript, and it sold thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Like, people care about the content way over the design. You want it to look neat and clean and good, but whatever you want. Canva seems to me like it would be very clunky because you'd have to make everything like really individually and slow, but I don't know exactly what you're doing, so it's all good.
All right, guys, that was the last question for today. Thank you.
Hold on, Jennifer Dixon said, "Don't stop the annual. I like to pay it once and be done." No, I would grandfather you in, or we would give it to. It might be a secret sale kind of thing, so we would grandfather you in if you already have an annual plan. I was talking about everybody else.
All right. That is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the member call. We will see you again at the end of the month. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Join us in September, fliplifestyle.com/live.
We want to see you there. If you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to really give yourself a deadline with consequences, then you need to be at Flip Your Life Live in September. And you're missing out on amazing trainings every single week and accountability.
It's like I always say, if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you there. Get to work. Flip Your Life. Later.
Bye.